Okay, so we're all set. Okay, let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing great. It's Friday. You should be feeling pretty good if you have the next few days off. So, my friends, let's start off our day like we always do by going over to the computer. Like that, we can figure out why we don't have a painting on the wall. And we'll see at the same time what we did yesterday. And then we'll tackle our day from there. So what did we do yesterday that we don't have a painting on the wall? Well, it's very simple. We started off by decorating and putting some lines on our frame. And then after that, we masked off our centerpiece, the main character, put our painting on the floor, and then we splattered on some plants, some flowers, well, not flowers, but let's say some stalks of some plants on the background. So that is why we do not have our painting on the wall, because as you can see, it's on the floor. So what are we going to do? We're going to pick it up, put it back on the wall, and then we're going to tackle our painting and figure out what we're going to do today. So let's do that. So I'm just going to put this exactly where it was before. Like that, I don't have to worry about the painting being straight. There we go. This is basically where we were before. Let me just double check though, just by going back here, making sure the edges are nice and vertical. And actually, it looks like it can go up just a hair on this side right here. So let me get this staple out of there and move the painting up just a whisker. Oops, that didn't go in. There we go. And let's double check. Yes, that looks much better. Very good. So let's just add a couple more. Whoops. Look, I'm not doing very well with my staples today. There we go. I kind of put them on an angle, so like that they're easy to pop out. And there's only one of the two sides of the staple in the canvas. Like that, it doesn't harm the canvas too much. So, and sometimes I just don't do it enough. There we go. So in my description on YouTube, I said that I was going to put some flowers on there and then put the first coat to our main character. But in thinking about it a little bit more, since I'm going to have to put two coats anyways, I figure I'm going to start off maybe with the main character, put that first coat of cerulean blue, and then we can add the flowers. Hopefully it'll have time to dry. I have plenty of other little things to keep me busy until it dries. I would like to get both coats of this guy like done today, but at the same time, being Friday and being my own boss, I don't feel like staying very late either. On Mondays, I'm so anxious to get to the studio and start painting. And by Fridays, I'm always anxious to get out and go home and start partying for the weekend. So anyways, that said, what do I have to do? I have to get some cerulean blue paint together. And I know that I'm going to have to as well be in a comfortable position, which means what? Which means I'm going to be bringing my stool, my bar stool over a little closer because that's going to be the right height for me to paint on that. And since it's so small, considering what I'm used to, I'm going to have to be kind of careful and precise with my movements. So what am I looking for now? The cerulean blue. So here's, well, no, this is turquoise blue. That's not really what I want. And here's the cerulean. I'm going to mix a little bit of white with it, make it lighter. There'll be two tones, dark cerulean, light cerulean. And I always start with the light first, and then I do the dark afterwards. So let's get that first coat together. Get a palette. What could I use for a palette? This, I guess. Doesn't look too bad. So let's get a little bit of... I don't have much of a surface really to paint, as you can tell. There's not even 1 square foot to paint, so I don't need that much. So first of all, I'm going to get a wider brush, and I'm just going to mix some water to make sure that the paint has the right consistency, that it will spread easily on the canvas, of course. And like usual, if I was mixing several colors, I would probably go to camera number 1 and do this with you guys. But quite frankly, to do what I'm doing right here, just adding water to the blue cerulean, is not rocket science. So I got that together. Now I have to add some white paint to that. There we go. Get my faithful little knife. Where are you? There you are. And we'll add a little dab of white paint. I'm not sure of the quantity, really. Depends, I guess, how light I want it to be. Let's start with that. And then we'll see. I know that as it dries, it's going to darken a little bit, so I can take that into consideration. And quite honestly, I'm pretty flexible on this. So let me just get that same wide paintbrush. I'm also going to get rid of some of the water on there. There we go. So maybe with this, I can do it on camera number 1. So let me just switch over for a second. I'm going to bring camera number 1 over, get it off the floor first of all, then bring it over here a little bit. And then so there's the dark cerulean and there's the white paint. So let's just blend it in and get like a nice baby blue. There we go. There. Let's just make sure it's all blending in nicely. Unfortunately, I am going to have to put 2 coats, even though cerulean blue is one of the colors that covers the best. But I still think I'm going to probably need 2 coats. That's usually how it goes, so no big deal. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So let's bring this baby up. I'll get it into the right position, kind of off center, so I don't have to stand in front of the lens. I'll zoom in, try to remember to move the camera as I'm moving down on the canvas. Sometimes something I do forget to do. So now this is going to be the important part, is finding the right paintbrush to do this. Might have to switch paintbrushes. So let me try with these two to start off with. I have quite a few choices here, but I think these two are going to work out just fine. Let me just put them to soak for a few seconds. Bring my bar stool a little closer as well. Now I'm not sure I have enough paint. Probably do. Okay, let's go for it. I'm going to start off with the smaller brush, and then we'll switch over. I'll switch cameras as well. Let's get to work. Okay, let me switch brushes here. One a little bit wider. There we go. And let me wipe off the excess water from my brush. There we go. Okay. Okay, I have to concentrate, so that's why I'm not talking. Not used to working this, or it's been a while, let's say, let's put it that way. It's been a while since I've worked on such a small surface, so I need to hold my breath in and okay. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. All right, all right. Very good. Here. As I said, let's not forget to bring the camera down, or at least zoom back a little bit, maybe. There we go. Oh, when we do the shadowing, all this is going to make more sense, I guess. Okay. Of course, there will be black outline to all this. And we'll see if we need a second coat. Maybe we won't. That would be awesome. Like I said earlier, this is the color that covers usually the most. So if we're lucky, we'll be all set. Okay. Okay, so I think for this part, we are all done. Move this guy out of the way. Okay, so let me just step back, take a look. Very good. Yeah, very good, except that I see something that needs fixing right now. So I'll do that very quickly. Just wanted to bring my little kneecap a little bigger right there. Okay, it's no big deal, but that's what it's all about. So, okay, now we got that done. I guess I can work on my little flowers, though it's going to be a pain in the neck with the cerulean blue being wet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump over to my circle here. And I'm going to work on that Because believe it or not, I also want to what am I going to do there? I'm going to start off with some yellow. Just put little yellow stars. Then we're going to do some. Some little sperms. You know, I have to have my little sperms in my paintings. So I'll have to make a little more of the ceruleum. But first, I'm going to just do these little yellow stars. There'll be a yellow star surrounded by 2 sperms. That's what I'm going to do. So let me find my yellow. Well, excuse me. Lord. I have the fan on, but I don't know. I don't think that's why I sneezed. It is so hot, humid here today. So what am I looking for? I am looking for my knife again. Where are you? There you are, my friend. So let me just get a little bit of yellow. I really don't need much because these are teensy weensy little stars. But at least I'll know exactly where to put my sperms once the stars are on the canvas. So I'm just going to step back for that. And I noticed there's a little bit of my purple, like kind of needs to be touched up, but I think I can do that afterwards once all the stars and the sperms are all finished. When I finish or get very close to the end, that's when I go back and I fix all the little details and try to bring the whole painting into some sort of sense of perfection, right? Does that exist? I don't think so. But anyways, I can't help myself. I always have to do that. So instead of rambling on, I should be picking the right kind of paintbrush I'm going to be needing. So I'm going to be needing this one for my little flowers afterwards, but I'll worry about that in a few minutes. What am I going to use now? Oof, this one's brand new brush. But I'm not going to use it now. These are too big. This one could do it. These are going to be hard to control. This one might do it as well. As could this one be the right one. So let me just check these 3 paintbrushes out. I think maybe this one for my little sperms afterwards. So I'm going to set that one aside, though nothing stops me from washing the brush and reusing it. I don't need a different brush for every color. Okay, so I'll just put that one to soak. Just like with the white paint, I'm going to add a little bit of water to my yellow just to make sure that it's the right consistency, because I'm sure it's way too thick the way it is now. So what little brush can I use? I can use this one. So just gonna add a drop of water to this and work it. I do want it to be kind of thick because there's no way I'm going to put 2 coats of this yellow on. And this yellow, usually you can see through it very easily. So I'm going to leave it really kind of thick. I'm going to put it on thick as well, and I'll have all weekend to dry. So that won't be a problem. Plus, I don't think it'll be in the way for me doing my flowers afterwards. What I need though is this guy to be dry. So maybe I should actually move my fan maybe a little closer. Why not? So let's do that, just to make sure that it dries. There we go. Okay, it might be blowing my hair all over the place. I guess I don't need this right away. So, let me just zoom in a little bit with this guy here. That's where I'm going to be putting my first little yellow star. Nice and thick. I would say right about here. There you go. So you can see, not very big. I'm going to go back, put one way up on top as well. Maybe I can zoom in where I'm going to put it right about, right where my finger is. Where is my finger? Oops, right about there, right? That's where I want it. Okay. There we go. Put that on thick. I'll pull this back because I'm going to be putting one in between of the two, right in here. Very good. And I'm going to pull this back so I can do all the others a little quicker. We don't waste all day doing something this simple. So putting that on really thick. There we go. If it's off by an eighth of an inch, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Let me grab these. Do one way down here. Right about here. That one's probably off camera, of course. Zoom in right there. Give it a maxi zoom. Give me some material to do the editing of my movie afterwards. There we go. And I'll do my last one right over here. More or less, I guess that's the center. Very good. Okay. Eventually, when those yellow is dry, I probably will add like a little dot of lemon yellow on top of that, or white, which nobody in the world ever sees except myself, but I always end up doing that. I think it looks nicer. So that is done. Let me mix up just a little bit more white with my cerulean blue, because I just about ran out. There we go. And I'll do that first coat of the sperms, and sometimes I need 2 coats on the sperms, unfortunately. So what do I have for paintbrushes here? Here's one that I can use to mix the white with the darker cerulean blue. Let me clean my materials here. I know it's Friday, can't wait to go home, but let's not rush things and get sloppy and whatnot, okay? Okay, Pierre? Okay. So let's blend all this in. Make these a nice light baby blue. There we go, very nice. I can add some water to it, because it is awfully thick. Oops. There we go, face the fan. This is a very light blue here, I must say. Let me scrape a little bit of the darker all around it. It's just going to take a few seconds, and that's why I'm not doing it on camera. What is this thing going to give me problems? There we go. Move that out of the way. There, I think I'm all set now. I don't remember. Okay, I said maybe I'd be using this brush for the sperms. Okay, let's try it. Just wet it for a few seconds. And, okay, I'll bring my bar stool when I do the lower ones. And let me get the excess water off there. Let me just check out the computer, see how we're doing on our stream. Apparently no drop frames, everything is going smoothly. Very good. Okay, so like usual, I'm going to start on that upper left-hand side. Like that, I'm sure I'm not going to be putting my hands in the paint. So let me start right there. Put the camera just a tad higher. And I'll switch over to camera number 1. And let's see if this is the right brush for the task. Apparently, it looks like it's just the right brush for what we want to do. So, all right, very good. I'll bring this back so I can do all the others quickly. There we go. There will be a darker shading on these, which will make it look even nicer. Go. Bring the camera down a little bit. Like that, maybe should get everything. I'll start off with the one that's just about off camera. Very nice. I'll bring the stool over. Very cool. Very good. So, bring this up. I'm not zooming in just a whisker. Just like that. Okay, did I get them all? I think so. Very good. Ooh, let me pull this back here, get it out of the way. Pull the camera back also as well. Okay, let me rinse off this little brush. So what did we say we were going to do next? The little white flowers. Okay, very good. So usually I splatter them on or I use my knife, but since it's so small and I want these flowers to be kind of teeny, I'm going to paint them on. And they're not going to be complicated, they're just going to be like little stars. That kind of a flower. And then eventually maybe we'll just add a little drop of yellow in the middle. And of course, if it were bigger, I would add some gray, but they are so small, I don't think it's worth it. So let me find the right brush. That's going to be important since I want these to be very small. Maybe this brush will do the trick. I'll put that to soak. And I will get some white paint onto my palette. Add a little bit of water so that it's the right texture. Again, I'm not going to need that much. Not much surface to paint. But anyways, so let's clean off the knife. It's great. I have all these brand new rags. So let me just put this over here. Should get a rag holder. Does that exist, a rag holder? I don't know, probably not. I could invent one, but whatever. So again, I want this to be a little bit more liquid, so I'm going to grab another brush. These are way too big for what I want to do. Maybe this one, I can just rinse it off. Make sure there's no blue on it, and then use this to add a little drop of water to my white paint. Get it to be like a nice creamy consistency of a nice creamy, I don't know what, dessert, pudding. There we go. There, that looks like it's going to be the right kind of So I can see already that I'm going to have to put a second coat of cerulean blue. No big deal, I kind of expected it. Question is, in what order am I doing all this stuff? You know what, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do these flowers. If they come out the way they should and look okay, well, we'll just call it quits for the day and let everything dry, and Monday we can tackle this. I'm sure I'll finish this painting. Oh no, I have the whole frame to do as well. So I won't finish, well, we'll finish by the end of next week for sure. That's okay. There's no rush. Now, is this going to be the right brush for what I want to do? It seems to be a little bit, I don't seem to have that much control over this. And the paint seems to be a little thick still. Okay, I'm going to add a little more water to the white paint. And I'm going to change brushes because I can tell this brush, I have no control over it. It's too flexible. The hairs are not rigid enough. So what am I going to use? What do I have? Ah, here we go. A little shorter hairs. Let's put that, get that wet for a few seconds. Get rid of the excess water. And I'll get camera number 1 ready. Okay, so like usual, I want these flowers to look like they're just random anywheres on the canvas, but obviously they are not. So I do have to step back, take a look, step back, etc., etc. So let's go. Let's try to see if I can do what I had in mind. Start off right here. So these look like more like little stars than flowers, but okay. Basically what I wanted. Okay, I'll step back. Right? What happens if I zoom in just for my movie, make a bigger one? How about that? Just like that. That's a little blurry, isn't it? Trying to see if my camera will focus. What happens if I take it off? Let me take a look here. So I'm trying to get this to focus, but apparently it is not doing the trick. Let me pull it back a little bit. And it still won't focus. Well, screw you, camera. Let's continue. Go. Okay. Continue here. I see that I'm going to have to come back on top there. But I'll do that afterwards since the camera is already on this section of the painting. Okay, pull the camera back a little bit. I do want to go up here and add one more flower right in here. Which is where I started. Of course, I have a better picture of the whole thing right like that. So let's move on a little bit over to the other side. Bring in the camera a little bit like that. There you go. Okay, so far so good. All right. One thing I have to be careful is not to put too many, right? Just find that right balance. I think I'm getting very close to the end, just maybe 2 or 3 more on this last stalk right here. Okay, let me step back, take a look. Okay, I think that's just the right balance. I am happy with that. So, now what can I do? Actually, everything I want to do, it's going to be a pain in the neck because everything is wet. And I need to put my hand down so I don't shake. So I have a vague feeling that this is all I can do today. Let me just move this stool out of the way and grab a I have no idea how this painting is going to look when it's finished. I hope I'm not going to screw it up. I hope he'll look okay. I should put it that way. We'll see. Maybe I should add some yellow stars right there in between or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'll paint the sperms when the time comes. Can I do that here, do you think? I'm going to try it. I don't really want to quit right away, especially when I have something that's not quite finished. So I am going to make a little bit more of that darker ceruleum. Yeah, just a little bit of the darker ceruleum. Again, I don't need much. It's just to do the shadowing to the sperms. But I think it's going to look a lot nicer once that is done. I need a brush. There we go. A brush that I can add some water and work it. There we go. Just going to add a little bit of the lighter ceruleum. Get out of the way of the fan. That looks just right. Now I need a very thin maybe this one will do. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to come in back with camera number 1 and we'll zoom in right up here. Go. Let me switch over to camera number 1 then. And it's not blurry, so that's perfect. Just like that, very discreet. I have to be careful, this brush looks bigger than I thought it was. Just like that. I'm going to come down this way like that. I'm sure I won't put my hand in the paint. All right. Let's go down the road. Try that one there. And obviously I'm going to have to sit down for this. So let me go in front of the camera for a split second just to grab my bar stool. Oops, let's put it in the right spot. There we go. Very good. Move it along down here. Go. Put this back. I can do these others. Go. Okay, now I just have the top ones to do. I should be able to do those without screwing up, putting my hands in the paint or whatever. Go. Go back to these. I'll pull the whole camera back. These top ones here. Very nice. I must say, the warm weather and the fan really helps me all right, very good. Did I get all of them? I think I did. So that's cool. Okay, let me just move this fan out of the way. There we go. Right there. Oops. Okay. Up. And let me move the camera back as well. I'll bring this over here. Okay, I don't know what to think, honestly. I don't know what to think. There's not much I can do about it. I have to put another coat. But we're going to do that on Monday. I kind of hate leaving things like this, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. And Monday we can start working on the frame. got kind of dirty laying on the floor overnight. There we go. So that is how things look. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And that's how the painting looks with camera number 2. I know it looks weird, little weird with the white there, but then you have camera number 1. Anyways, they'll look better on Monday, I guess, when we add that second coat of cerulean blue and then the darker cerulean blue. There too, we're probably going to have to add 2 coats to that as well. And then we'll start tackling the frame, and then we'll be all done. Another masterpiece that we can ship off to the museum. So anyways, my friends, I want to thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. And I'm going to leave you, I guess, like usual. I'm going to wish you, first of all, a great weekend. I hope you have a blast. I know that I'm going to try. That's for sure. And I'm going to leave you, like usual, with 2 things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule. And I'm going to leave you by saying, ciao, mes amis.